Network. You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Welcome back to the forecast. It is right now the two casts are two of our members are out as of right now. Wilkes will be here shortly. Doc is out right now on a little bit of hiatus, but he will be coming back real soon. And so tonight, coming at you with the season finale of Fight Night, the $1 Million Heist, episode 8, as we round out and review the end of this series. And this is definitely the end. I know last week we talked about, is there a possibility of season 2? No, this is it. They basically, it was being reported that this is a limited series. It's a one-time thing. And the way they ended it, which we'll get into, definitely shows, that this is it. But let's get to some comments here as we jump in. Jungle Brother, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Golden Brooks in the building. Thank you for tuning in. Rhonda, man, we haven't seen Rhonda in a minute, man. Looking good. Love the new Abby photo. But yeah, thank you for coming through. All right, A-Trap. How you doing?
You know me, man.
Yeah, I got to ask for the people. I like that. I like that. It kind of looked like the guy, the Addams family, Uncle Phil.
Lurch. Abraham Lincoln kind of look like Lurch.
Yeah. You look like you're about to rob somebody.
Yeah, he did rob us. Never mind.
Yeah, so whole nother story. But yeah, I appreciate you, Rhonda. We whenever you come through, it's just like you family. So whenever you come through, it's all good. All right, so kind of before we jumped in, kind of a little bit off tangent, but we was kind of talking about these cow bums or these bum boys or whatever you want to call it. They got scraped yesterday. Anybody that's a Cowboys fan out there, to be honest, I'm not even watching. I didn't watch the game. I probably won't even watch. I don't even know when I'll watch a game. I'm just gonna be honest. It's just one of them things this year.
I ate rap. You'll be back.
Jungle with a spoiler alert. I haven't watched one episode yet, so it's definitely gonna be some spoilers. But Jungle, this is an easy watch. I'll tell you that right now. This is not one of those where you gotta set some time aside. Honestly, I think me and A-Trap, we were kind of watching / listening as we, out and about, or you could put it on while you're working. But the content is great. I think this is one of those series where you're just amazed by the talent in it, and it definitely shows putting this together. Rhonda said, me either, but it's okay. I'll binge watch it. Yeah, it's on Peacock.
I guarantee you will. Yeah. One episode, you won't stop.
Yeah.
Catch it on the Saturday while you ain't doing nothing. You'll finish the series.
Yeah, real quick. And it's like 45 to 50 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's real quick. So the series, let me pull up the graphic just so we can give you a little bit of background as we get to the end here. So the series is starring Taraji P. Henson. You see Terrence Howard with that Jane Fonda wig on, Samuel Jackson, Kevin Hart, Don Cheadle. And Kevin Hart is not doing the Kevin Hart stick. It is not the Kevin Hart show. He's in it, but his and I'm gonna go ahead and say it, man. His level of acting has grown. I mean, over these past few years, we've even reviewed a couple things he's been in, and so he's really just he's kind of the centerpiece, but it's kind of a back and forth, him and Don Cheadle, who's the detective, and then you have Samuel L. Jackson, kind of like the godfather of the gangsters and the commission. Terrence Howard's kind of like his right-hand man. But we get into this episode tonight, and also from the previous. And so the whole heist, the way the thing went down, I'm gonna give you a little summary. They're basically throwing a fight for the Muhammad Ali. They're throwing a party for the Muhammad Ali fight, an after party. Muhammad Ali is returning back after he was in prison. He said he didn't want to go to Vietnam. He didn't believe in it.
He was a conscientious objector.
Yeah, he made the conscious decision, and so this is his first fight back. This is all true. It was here in Atlanta, not here in Atlanta, but in Atlanta, and this was his fight back, and they wanted to have a party. So a lot of the gangsters all around, a lot of the members of the commission was basically coming down to have a party. Samuel Jackson is the head guy, and they end up throwing this party, and the party ends up getting robbed. And because basically you think of all these millionaires that are there, what better party to rob? And the party, the Chicken Man spot, who is Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart really was just trying to get close to Samuel Jackson, who was Frank Moten, and that was his main idea, the main thing to do, objective. There you go. So after really this entire series was trying to better himself, better his family, and all that. So it ends up getting robbed, and that's really when the story starts to continue to take off. But there's so many things throughout the series, A-Trap, you can chime in, that it just took you along a story that was well scripted, and we've been talking about that.
Yeah, I really appreciated this story because it tied a whole lot of things in. It was a lot of double entendres expressed throughout the entirety of this series. You had a person who's aspiring, who has little motivation to do things, but this is his way out. It showed you, just because I'm engaged in criminality does not mean that I'm a staunch criminal. It is the route that I perceive is the only route that I can take. It showed you the culmination of criminal masterminds throughout the country that are working together, Black criminal masterminds. And the double entendre with that is, hey, just because we're criminals don't mean that we're stupid. B, mean that we don't want to work together. C, does not mean that we don't have the best interests of the community in mind. And then once you start digging and delving into this, you come to the realization that people like the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., late great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a lot of his marches and a lot of his rallies were financed by people who ran numbers, people who were dope dealers, people who were part of the criminal element, but they just wanted better for the community. It also showed you that how, again, even though I am participating in criminality, does not mean that this is my goal in life. This is all I want to do. I want to expand, I want to elevate, and I want to move forward. And all of that inculcates itself into the story and the Chicken Man and the governmental policy and street level dynamics and revenge and all these kinds of things. They tie in to make what I perceive is one of the best series I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah, and this is a microcosm of our community. A lot of these issues, husband and wife. You have issues between a Black cop and a criminal or a thug or what have you. Between the gangster or the OG and the police officer. So Don Cheadle is the detective who in this series was kind of seen as the you just a cop because you didn't have anything else to do, and you wanted to oppress us. And that was kind of the label on him. But really, when it came down to it, he just wanted better for his community. That was his way of trying to get the best out of his community and bring the best to his community. And so he ended up being a bodyguard for Muhammad Ali while he was in Atlanta. So that's where his introduction was. He really didn't want to do it. He knew it was kind of like a babysitting job, but really it became, he became close to Muhammad Ali, really towards the end of Muhammad Ali leaving. So I really felt like there was a lot of great dialogue. And again, a lot of times we don't agree. We talk about this all the time. Even though you don't agree, you can still have a conversation. You can agree to disagree, but you can still have a conversation and be able to explain both sides and not just end up being an argument or worse sometimes, which was happening.
Yeah. I actually refereed an argument today between ABM and Raider Kev.
Oh,
And it was the name calling. I just stepped in. I was like, man, look, we can disagree without being disagreeable. And if we actually had a conversation, we might find out that we have more in common than we don't. And that's what I say. It was so many layers. As younger brother who's in the chat room, he uses this terminology on his podcast a lot. He said, let's peel back the onion. And what we do in society, we don't take the time to peel back the onion. Like me, people who don't really know me, I'm seen as bombastic. I'm seen as arrogant and so forth and so on. But if you get to know me, you understand that I am arrogant and I am bombastic. I am. But simultaneously, it's not that I think I know everything. It's just I try to talk about the things that I am passionate about. So I'm confident in the things that I'm talking about. So when I'm confident, it may come off as arrogant to a person who does not have that same confidence. But again, if you talk to me, you'll understand I'm not that. My arrogance is a shield for a kinder, gentler H-Rap. Yeah. But you don't get a name like H-Rap being polite.
Right, exactly.
If you look up H-Rap Brown, you understand what I mean.
Yeah, he was about it. He was standing on business
about it.
Yeah, he wasn't playing around. So in this series, there's obviously, like we've been talking about, different dynamics. And so the detective played by Don Cheadle and Chicken Man played by Kevin Hart were started off on different sides. Mm-hmm. And Don Cheadle actually arrested Chicken Man. He ended up going to prison for that. So they already had beef. When they seen each other, it was already instant, disagreement, and they clash and headbutting and everything. And they end up working together to solve really everything. So that again tells you, even though you start off on one end, you can completely do a 360 and change on the other end. So the series was well done.
Man, it was a treat. It was a delight. It was truly a delight. Because, like I said, man, it mixed in different levels of the Black community. You could be a staunch, upright person, and you can have connection to the community that shows you nothing but love. You could be a deviant and be on a whole nother page. So it just shows as a terminology that I hate using, but I'm gonna use it for this instance. In this instance. And I rarely ever say it again. We're not a monolith, and when we can have the same goal, but not approach it in the same way. You might be a musician. I might be a computer tech. You might be a doctor. You might be a laborer. You might be a phone technician. But we're all headed in the same direction for the common goal. And if we slow down and just pay attention, as you will see in the conversations between Don Cheadle, the officer, who's a former military person, and Muhammad Ali, who's standing up for the betterment of himself and his people. And when they had the conversation, they realized, oh my God, I've judged you poorly, and I'm in a bad situation for it. And as the series proceeds, you see that Don Cheadle is blacker than even he thought, and then Kevin Hart realized that, hey, this guy ain't a bad guy. He just was doing his job.
Right. He was wanting to get the best out of his community, make Chicken Man a better person, which, to the end he did. He did end up doing that. So I think we can better ourselves. We can encourage ourselves. Sometimes it's tough love. Sometimes it's constructive criticism, and we got to be able to take that from each other. And it's not always a negative or you hating or anything like that. Sometimes it's just you need to hear the truth, and we got to tell it to you in a certain way. And shout out to Bringing the Business. Thank you for tuning in.
Man, Cook was good, baby. Cook started this whole gangster thing about 8 years ago, man. I made my first appearance on Cook's show, man.
Oh, really?
He had me on his show around this time of the year in 2015. Yep.
Wow.
It's called
the game started.
There he
is. What's up, Wilkes?
What's going on?
Thanks for the love, bro.
No.
Yeah. Glad to see you. Glad to get you on. So we just kind of given an overview of the series and kind of a summary, for those couple of people I haven't started watching it yet. Again, it's on Peacock. You know the deal. If you don't have Peacock already,
right,
free trial, baby. Get that free trial. Watch that. You could probably find something else on there, and you may end up paying for it. There's a lot of good things on Peacock.
Keep it. Drop something else. Keep it.
Yeah.
And if you keep it long enough, they'll send you an email like they did with me, and they say, "Hey, you can get it for a year, but you're gonna have the commercials." And I was like,
"Yeah,
for $20."
Yo, yeah. If you can get that year, because they a lot of these streaming platforms do not want to give you that year deal. You pay monthly, but if you can get that deal, But
and they don't over inundate you with commercials.
Yeah, true.
Because boy, my son just upgraded Disney Plus, and thank God.
Yeah, those commercials.
Disney Plus commercials. It's like, hey,
you got commercials on Disney Plus?
Man,
you got to pay more. You got to pay more for the upgrade.
Right one, bro. It's like, hey, how you doing, Whoops? We'll be right back.
Oh no,
they'll go through. Yeah, they'll go through the intro.
Background. We'll be right back.
Wow. But I think that's because they quietly bought Hulu, so they integrated themselves into that. So I didn't know they had commercials. Oh no,
man, it's insane. Shout out to BJ.
Yeah,
man. Hey, all those times, kids, all that time your parents was paying for cable. Now is the time to pay them back. Pay for that Netflix and share that email.
Shout out to Bria. Netflix. Yeah.
Hey, that's how we do it. That's how we do it. Somebody pay for this, somebody pay for that. Hey, this share.
Right.
They don't like to hear share because sharing is not caring. But
you want to hear that?
No, it is what it is. All right. So episode 8, which is kind of bringing everything all together. Obviously, we know who was behind the robbery, which we learned about that in episode 7. It was Terrence Howard's character. And he Cadillac. I didn't think it was him at all. I didn't think he just seemed loyal. And then you see kind of the backstory of him and his dad seeming to not get along, but it wasn't his dad. Because in this episode, he was like, it was your mama, the one that was in the way. So now the story continues to ravel, and people saying they don't agree with Frank and his leadership, and he's older and all that, but really they were just in between. And that goes with anything. If you got somebody that can give you the grass is greener on the other side, and you may end up going that direction, but it may not always be that way. So the episode kind of opens up with Terrence Howard, talking about this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to take down Frank. I kind of already had a feeling like this not going to go smoothly. Obviously. Yeah. And there's no honor among thieves just because you think you got an inside scoop, but obviously Chicken Man and Don Cheadle's character were kind of coming to a head with them as well. So eventually, they were about to spill. This is what happened, and he was in part of it. But give me your thoughts, Wilkes.
I really liked. I was kind of excited to see how they were going to try to tie this thing together. But then once I got to the other side of it, I realized, you know what, this may not need a season 2 or a season.
We just
3.
mentioned that.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah. And that's I get it. That's okay. I mean, but I really enjoyed it. I just was just fascinated by, and what really blew my mind is I didn't put 2 and 2 together when they had Muhammad Ali come back for the 96 Olympics in Atlanta. That kind of tidbit at the end, I was mind blown because I didn't put 2 and 2 together that he had fought there once before. And of course they run him out of town, don't come back, and then all of a sudden, Atlanta's like, yeah, we need you to, run the torch. But it's just one of those things where it was, I just enjoyed how it was done. I mean, it seems like those that involved definitely did their homework, and Atlanta was a mecca. It was something that they were trying to it was like I mean, I can understand why he was saying another Vegas, because the Rat Pack and the gangsters had already had their foothold and dirty dealings on out there in the desert.
Right.
But it's like, okay, how can I give back? It may not be straight laced, but I'm just trying to do right by my people locally.
Right.
How can we get a Mecca? How can we do something for Hot Atlanta, Chocolate City? So, yeah, no, I really enjoyed this. I mean, from the close, from the intro, and just thinking about those movies I've watched, growing up that were from the 70s and that Black Hollywood exploitation. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. And then they threw in there, the South got something to say. They threw that in there. Shout out to Outkast, Andre 3000, 3 Stacks.
Yeah.
I mean, they threw in the culture taglines and the stuff that we say, and anybody that's been to Atlanta, the different houses, and they did everything to give you the sense of this is Atlanta. This is what it was. This is what it became.
I mean, even the food was a conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it wasn't great or if it was good. And like I said a few weeks ago, I mean, even the neighborhood, like I remember houses that had, they were up a little higher than the other house, and they had that hill. You roll down that hill in that grass and, get ate up by them chiggers and them ants, but you out there playing in the grass, you itching, but you playing, you're getting dirty. But it was just that took me back when I saw those things and the big cars and, thank God for my grandparents that were still around when I was raised, because they still echoed those times. Mm-hmm. They may not dress the same, they may not look the same, but they still echoed those moments. I mean, thank God for family albums. I look back through family albums, and when I saw Frank with that hair, my granddad had that hair. He literally had an afro
with that silver.
With the silver down. Man, I kid you not, look like Wolfman Jack out here, man. So
and there's been a ton of things we've done that focuses on Atlanta. When we did the food High on the Hog, and they talked about Pascal's, and they talk about how the meeting spot was at the restaurants, and like all of that stuff.
There was one I told you about. We haven't watched it, but it was the chef's table. The lady that bought the segregated diner and repurposed it for her own wealth and good. So it was pretty crazy.
Hey, Golden says, "Well, look who decided to join us." Yeah, he came in right.
Golden, what's happening with you, Golden?
yeah. But yeah, man, Cadillac thought he had it all figured out, man. He really felt like this is a foolproof plan, and it's all gonna go smoothly. But you got Emerson, who was, he was on that stuff. He was on that on that white girl. So he was gonna fumble it at some point. And so he had way too much trust in him, and I think that was one of his faults. That ended up coming to bite him, and they end up really killing each other. So it's like he didn't have to. He didn't really have anybody that could say this is what happened, and I'm gonna back up Cadillac. So really, Cadillac didn't have anybody to really back him up. It was just his word versus Chicken Man. Versus Commission. Yeah. What's up, D? Great. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to check out his podcast as well. All right, so
fellow Cowboy fan.
Yeah. Hey man, give me your thoughts. I don't know, it may be too soon because that was an epic beatdown. CJ, what's going on? Make sure to subscribe to Plays by CJ, man. CJ is
money.
Man, killing the game right now, man.
CJ
I know the video from yesterday probably has 1 million views at this point. I'm sure you went epic. Just don't punch a TV.
CJ might have lost his shit yesterday. I don't know.
Don't punch a TV unless it's a TV by the trash can and somebody was.
I'm not anyway. Just living here in Dallas and growing up, and I know I don't want to go down that path, but I was shocked. I could not believe. I was actually. I mean, it was just like, come on, Cowboys. No, don't do your fans like that, man. Come on.
To lose like that at home. Haven't won a home game.
For those, let me chime in on that. For those who hate Dak, I'm gonna say one thing: the Cowboys. The last time the Cowboys lost at home like that, Tom Landry was the coach, and the very next year, Jimmy Johnson was the coach. I'm through talking.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I mean,
he said I busted a vein watching that. I know. I bet you did. I bet you did. I didn't even watch it.
I was in the kitchen.
I wasn't even
cooking,
planning on watching it.
Yeah, I was in the kitchen cooking, and I looked up, and I'm like, okay, all right. Then all of a sudden, it got 34-3, and I was like, or 34-6, or something like that. I was like, oh gosh, what are we doing?
Yeah. This. I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna move on. This is just the consequences of not doing anything in the offseason. You can't expect to lose some of the players you lost and just say, we're just gonna run it back with the players we lost and not signing Derrick Henry, not signing any quality free agents, and just expecting everything to go smoothly.
Like I told my friend on the phone, and I know you want to move on. They have to blow up that organization. Like, you have to get people in there you never heard, you ain't never seen. They have no track record of being on this level. They keep trying to like rehatch people that had glory days, and it's like those glory days don't come back sometimes.
You need to start over. But it's too late though, because you just signed Dak and you just signed CD. So it's not like it's a ton of money to go around. And now if you decide not to pay Micah, and you maybe you trade him and use some picks. But
No.
I mean, you got
some. Then your whole cap could be tied up in 3 players.
Hey,
they don't do
go undrafted. Go undrafted. You got plenty of people that want to show up.
It's a long season. It is only week. What is this? Week 5. It's a long season.
You got to buy when you buy week.
Yeah. So, you responding to A-Trap? He said, CJ, when I'm not in Illinois, while I'm at home, sit at Raider Nation. Okay. Y'all. So, hey, we just keeping it real around here. Ain't no shots. Ain't no
give
shots.
Me one more chance. Ronda, give me one more chance.
I guarantee you, Jerry don't listen to anybody. Okay, so Jerry ain't listening.
No, he listening to me.
Rough him up.
You would have to type a message in on his flip phone and hand it to him. That is the only way.
He's still not going to get it.
No. He listens. He just does not adhere.
Right.
You don't put it into action.
If Mike McCartney gets to stay the rest of the season, that man's getting fired. The man's getting fired. I don't care. The man's getting fired. Either it's versus the Commanders or it's versus the Giants again or Philadelphia. He getting fired somewhere. Come on, man.
Y'all want to put $5 on the Cowboys beating the Commanders?
Okay, cool.
I ain't putting $5 on them beating anybody this year.
No, you can take the Commanders. I think the Pokes.
Yeah, because they're gonna be upset. Of course, Cowboys gonna the Commanders. They can't. Yeah, come on.
Rhonda said, "I'm glad Detroit won. They have David Montgomery. Yeah, former Bear.
Now, if you want to get me to cussing, you bring that up. That's why I'm only a Bears fan when I'm outside of Illinois.
Yeah,
because then I got to rep my city, my state. But if I'm at home, I'm a Raider fan. Raider Nation. Raider Nation till I die.
Damn. What is my Yankees doing?
Yeah. All right. So going into again episode 8, kind of it rounds it out. You're starting to see everybody's plan is starting to either come into form or falling apart. Cadillacs is falling apart. Chicken Man is end up kind of cornering him because he thought he was talking to Emerson, and then Frank starts to kind of get skeptical, which I think he probably was when he went back and when he started to kind of argue with him. I think he got a little skeptical, like, okay, he's trying to cross me. He's questioning my authority. Yeah. Give me your thoughts on that, A-Trap, kind of seeing how Cadillac's plan's falling apart.
It's you can clearly see you don't become the boss of the mob by just being a dude who kill people and beat people up and I got the most muscle. You become the boss of the mob by being the most savvy, having what women would call mother wit. and intuition, what was it, discernment, or if
Right.
you will.
Yeah.
And you can clearly see that he understands when you're in that, and you in that underworld that long, you understand when people start feeling themselves, when they start smelling themselves, and when it's time to get rid of people. As you saw, Frank was his first option. You saw this throughout the series when that Hispanic dude came from Miami. His first option wasn't to kill that dude. And then dude doubled back around and said, "Oh, okay, we gonna see what's up."
Yeah, he
And
started talking.
He started talking. So, basically, one of the great things about the Samuel Jackson character, he listened to understand, not to respond. And Terrence Howard clearly listened to respond because he was all emotional and he was listening to someone who had no true dealings in the underworld, which is his mom. I want to touch on that for a second before I give it over to you, give it back to you and Wilkes. The fact that Terrence Howard didn't die and the fact that Samuel Jackson made reference to his mom I walked away initially thinking, hey man, that's the end of it. But if they want to, remember, they made reference of, if I kill this dude, I'm gonna have to deal with a whole bunch of gangsters in New Jersey.
Right.
They did open the door for a second season, his mother being the boss and her going directly at Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
He said a whole bunch of dudes with some blonde wigs coming after me.
Yeah.
So he obviously he has a whole crew. They just didn't really show his crew.
Right.
Well, at least maybe when they were kind of at his spot, you seen some people that was kind of seemed like they were working for him. But
I mean, like you said at the hangar, she wanted the whole city. She pointed across the harbor, like that's what I want,
Yeah.
And yes, I said they don't need a second season, but damn, what I'm talking about, I mean, the popularity,
hey, I would say it might be more so of a spinoff, because towards the end you start to see, Chicken Man uses his Christian name again, Gordon. It becomes the pastor, and the detective Hudson is working in the Eternal Affairs, so their story's kind of already gone and over. So it would really be Cadillac, Frank, and Frank's working with Taraji as they're kind of doing their business. So I mean, you could have a whole little part of it that they could roll with, because I mean their story is still evolving. She wants to be kind of the queen pin of the running the numbers, and they got the whole business. Buckhead, what they call it, Buckhead International or Buckhead Enterprises.
Yeah, it was that
Unlimited.
Yeah, but you really think like that kind of stuff. I really believe that stuff is true to a certain degree. Maybe not that person, but that not that name, but that stuff is definitely. And then the governor of the mayor, he ended up having to work with Frank, even though he didn't realize he was working with Frank, but he ended up working with Frank. So
city councilman,
right? So, I mean, so I mean, there's some other storylines that still has legs that you could kind of roll with it, but
it has several tentacles.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, if it goes one way, it'll work out. And if it doesn't go that way, it still works out, because it's just like, man, that was a good series, Oh man, they're coming back with a season 2, so it can go either way. Yeah, absolutely.
Because season 2 could be Frank and his mom in New York.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You still, and they even said, "Hey, this not over with." It was like not by a long shot.
Yeah.
But and then this also showed in this episode, Frank does have some grace, because he could have. I mean, his muscle could have basically shot everybody and it would have been over with.
Right.
Or, and even working with Detective Hudson, which he really didn't want to do until Taraji turned around like, y'all niggas need to stop. All right, y'all some boys back here. He was like, oh, I know you had a gun. You had a gun the whole time. So that that was a nice kind of comic relief, even though these were serious moments. You got a heist going on, you got some detective work going on. It was still some comedy thrown in that I felt like was needed.
It reminded me of that Bill Bellamy movie. I think it's called Two Can Play That Game or something like that. That one was like, nigga, don't you know I will cut you? It's like, oh shit. she like grabbed, I mean, jacked him up. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
she about to shoot these boy. But yeah, no, done very well, very well.
Yeah, shout out to Taraji doing
man.
Her great acting job, and also her partner. I don't remember what her name was, but
I need to see her with Jordan Peele. She's gonna have to link up with Jordan Peele. I'm gonna need some Jordan Peele, Taraji.
Yeah. He's doing isn't he doing like a
he's got another one dropping.
Like a punked. He's doing like a punk type thing.
Well, he's doing that, but he's also got another movie lined up. I can't think of the title, but he dropped like a teaser, like a poster or something like that. I'm like,
that would be dope to see them work together.
Yeah.
Man,
I mean, it was captivating, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it really had you going till the end. You didn't really know how it was going to end,
right? And that's what I was saying about H-Rap and Dog. You know, like even if my mom watched it and I asked her, like, I wonder how they felt, like as being the actors, how did they feel? Because I'm sure most of them also were teenagers and kids growing up in that era, but to go back and to play and remember those things, you know, it's like I'm sure they like were just enjoying that. Then you got Debbie Allen on the set. Like, come on, man, it's Debbie Allen. Like, I mean, if you got a chance to interact with Debbie Allen, you know, then Samuel talking about how those movies inspired him, and like that's where he gets his deliverance from those movies, like Shaft and Cleopatra. All those movies were just like, that was so influencing to him, inspiring. So, you know, I can't imagine what they were thinking. Like, oh man, I remember my dad used to drive this old Cadillac, you know, something like that. You know, I'm sure like memories of flashbacks were probably one of those things that was like, yeah, man, I used to have a leather coat like that, man. Everybody want to wear a leather coat, leather trench coat, you know.
Right.
So I can't imagine the conversations. It's just like Harder They Fall. Like, I can't imagine the energy on that set.
Just when the camera's not rolling and just what they're talking about.
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, we could only imagine. They could probably release a director's cut, you know, some behind the scenes. Add that on as an extra little thing. Because there's probably gonna be more people watching this.
Podcast. They can do a podcast about the production. I mean, everything's a podcast now.
They come on a podcast and do.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Hey, get a panel.
Come on, Terrence. Come on, Samuel. We went to the same college. Come on. Come on now.
Wear the wig. Gotta wear the wig.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, he didn't say Maine this entire series, right?
I can't believe it. They say, man, cool down.
I don't know how.
His voice wasn't buffering either.
Yeah, he had a different. Yeah, he had a different kind of feel. What's up, Theodora Blue Streak? Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate the support as always.
Theodora got the cape on. I see you. Got the cape on. The cape. I ain't mad at you.
I ain't mad at you.
Yeah.
What really interested me about this is the way each and every character made a true sacrifice, whether it be for himself or for the betterment of the situation. It was, like I said, it was a lot of underlying messages in this. It showed you how, like, the young man got misled by a dream. His insecurities overrun. You know, he was overrun by his insecurities and the promise of something that leads you down the wrong path. The promise of, or the illusion of success, the illusion of respect. It showed you how even the most hardened criminal, I'm a killer, just at all points. And guess what? I'm not a monster. I have to play the role of a monster.
Right.
And it just showed
Willie Black. Man, Willie Black was that prime example. He's in the back seat with Cadillac, and he's like, "Nah, man, you did this to yourself." Like that was a real conversation. Like I'm not trying to save you. You put yourself in this situation. You put me in this situation, and it is what it is now. And Willie was like a hothead pretty much the entire series, but in that moment you got to see the personal side of him, even when he was kind of taking care of the young kid.
I think he also was a remembrance of the previous episode, how those other people were taken out
Yeah.
The young kid got killed. The kid's mentor got killed, and then it's just like, so Willie Black, like he said, that I'm your loose end, but he was still like an echo to, man, it's some people that you lost. Some people got killed because you put yourself in this position, man.
Right.
And like you said, he made that statement. He said everybody want to be all about themselves until it's time to go to jail. Then it's all for us and we.
Right.
And again, it's so many hidden, it's so many layers. It's again the quote Jungle Brother. This when you peel the onion back, you see so many different things. You see Willie wasn't the monster that he portrayed. That's what he felt that he had to be.
Yeah.
He had to have that dominance so that people wouldn't see him as weak, and so that people wouldn't try to run over him.
Right.
And you know, they didn't get into his backstory, but I'm sure there was moments in his childhood and his coming up that he got taken advantage of. So he's like, hey, it's never gonna be me again.
Right.
And that's what he was trying to kind of teach the young boy too. So
yeah.
Man.
Definitely.
Man. Yeah, man. Terrence Howard end up so they had the whole kind of sting operation. It was basically at this restaurant that I thought was the actual restaurant, but that was
I thought it was too.
Random people there.
I didn't see it coming.
So now when those cops came in, those probably weren't cops then.
No, they were cops. They were cops. Yeah,
because they made it seem like all those people were there, like it was like a set.
No. Remember, when you're watching this, you see the lady who's working for the police. She's a surveillance lady,
right?
And he wanted to expose Terrence Howard as the snake that he is.
Yeah.
Even though this has nothing to do with this. This almost took me back to Superman 2. Remember when they went back to the Fortress of Solitude, and Lex Luthor thought he was going to die, and he started at Superman, and Superman said, "Hey man, if we can trick them into that thing."
Yeah.
And then he said, "Hey, go get that thing, and we're gonna do it." So Kevin Hart did the same thing to Cadillac.
Yeah.
He put him in a position to see if this dude was trustworthy. Was he the weasel that he thought he was? And he snatched the paper down to see if the police would get him.
Yeah, because even the police, they were like, "Look, man, we're kind of sticking our necks on the line here. You know, we kind of When he talking to him,
this could go south. Yeah.
No, they were real on the force. They were with him.
Yeah.
They were talking to him in the parking lot because they were like, you know, we kind of sticking our necks out here. He's like, I know, I understand.
Because he told him to keep it low for another day or two so we can get on this.
Yeah.
Right. And that was great detective work. Man, Chicken Man had a lot of skills, a lot of that he really shown in these last couple of episodes. Once he knew, like, man, I could go to jail for life. I could die in jail. I could basically get killed by either side. The cops or Frank Moulton and his crew. So I gotta clean my record the best I can. And so that showed his I'm looking out for myself, but also so I can get home. It's basically what his end goal ended up becoming, and not becoming Frank's main guy. And then the forgiveness, probably since the robbery went down, Frank was like, I'm gonna kill Chicken Man at any means necessary whenever it's on site. Basically.
Right. It's going down.
And he had that opportunity, and he was like, so what would you say right now? You about to see your maker. What would you say? And he's like, you forgiven. I mean, like at any point in time, which I knew once he took him inside, and
he went straight Pulp Fiction mode there for a minute. Like,
he did. He did.
But if you think about it,
you believe in God, don't you?
Hey, but you know what? If you think about it, the way it unfolded, he never had any intention on killing Kevin Hart.
Because in the beginning, which is interesting, because in the first episode, it's a whole different setting. He had it like out in the middle of nowhere, like had him he was in a trunk.
Right.
Remember, they were which I wonder what does that even mean? Because it's like you had him out in the middle of nowhere about to kill him, and he was about to tell his story, and then of course the gun goes off, but they fast forward.
The way they did that was kind of like you thinking he died, and then they showed it again at the end. But I think he was more so. I think he was just annoyed by him. I don't think he was ever going to kill him. I really don't think he was ever going to give him a job either. But
no, I'm talking about the sting operation. He was in on the sting already.
Oh
He
yeah,
knew the cops were coming, so he had no intentions on killing Kevin Hart. I think that was a scared straight moment.
Yeah, because in the back, because remember they flashed back to the back seat, and he made a comment about we got to figure out
Him and
some
Don
kind
Cheadle
of,
was like, yeah, just get me there and we'll work everything out.
We'll
Yeah.
figure it out. So he had no intentions on ever killing Kevin Hart. I do believe he wanted to see who Kevin Hart truly was.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So are you Chicken Man the hustler, or are you Chicken Man the dude who thinks he was forced to hustle?
Right.
Yeah, that was kind of a fork in the road moment. Like, do you really want to do this, or do you want to be able to go back home to your wife and your family? And it was kind of really giving him like a choice.
Right. That's what I think more than I could kill you at this moment. He just is like, because remember, he walked through the entire plan as he told Kevin Hart, and he told him, "Look, just fake like you did, dummy." Because he like the police on the way.
Right.
Help is on the way, Country Wayne.
Right.
And they was enjoying the But I think he just wants to see, hey, dude, are you really a grifter, or are you a dude who was really trying to do? He wants to see who Kevin Hart was.
Yeah. And that was a great dialogue right there too.
Yeah.
That was a serious moment. Your life is on the line.
Right.
Well, Kevin Hart thought his life was on the line.
Alcoholics call it a moment of clarity.
Yeah. So man, cops end up coming. They basically end up arresting everybody except Frank and Chicken Man and kind of that crew. But hey, why had the Muscle get arrested? Like the Muscle was with Frank, even though he did kill a couple people.
He didn't get arrested. Nobody got arrested but Cadillac.
No. The Muscle got arrested too when they went back to the precinct.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was.
But I mean, he did kill probably like 3 or 4 people though. So.
And he shots at the police.
Yeah.
Hey, he killed the dude with the shotgun in episode. What was that? 2?
Two. Yeah, episode 2.
He blew that man in some boxes, man.
He rocked that dude. Yeah. See you.
Yeah. But he played that role great, man. I don't know. Wilkes, you said he's in
he's in The Walking Dead.
Fear of the Walking Dead, man. I feel like I want to see him in something else, man, just to see what he.
That's the first time I've ever seen that guy. Which I've never heard him. I don't think I've heard him talk unless he's like, sometimes they find these British actors, but I don't know if he may be American. I whatever the case is, but that's the first time I ever saw him was in The Walking Dead. I think it was like season 12. It was the last season, I think, season 12. But that was the first time I'd found it. So
I've only watched 3 episodes of The Walking Dead.
Don't worry, man. It's okay. It's okay. No
worries. I think I made it to like
when zombies were. They just kind of drugged that one. They just stopped.
Yeah, I think I made it to like season 5 or 6, and then I ended up falling off.
Yeah,
but I mean those first 4 or 5 seasons.
Hey, season 1 through 5. That's it.
Yeah,
they should have stopped right there. They should have stopped.
Greatness, but they dragged it along a little too.
They should have stopped. They should have stopped at 5. But they had to get Negan in there, so they had to go season 6. But 1 through 5, gold.
But man, Clifton Powell was mush mouth, and he was like, "What you say, man?"
Clifton, chill out, man.
Yeah, man. I'm glad he was in this. I feel like
had one of the Popeyes biscuits.
Right. He had that rotating drumstick, like
I knew when you said Popeye, I knew Jerry Rice was gonna come up.
It has to. Every time I think of Popeyes, I think of that.
Because that was terrible. That was trash.
I think about that and the Popeyes lady, which
Lord,
she's not on the commercial.
It seem like she was. They were really making it seem like she was kind of like some real existing entity or something. Like, who is this lady?
My least favorite Popeyes outside of Jerry Rice is that dude that's singing about chicken. Ooh, baby, I got Popeye. I'm like,
yeah, that was too much.
Man,
ain't no chicken in the world that good. I'm sorry.
Right.
I got Popeye. I was like, no. I ain't eating here for a year.
Yeah, I
can't even tell you what Popeyes tastes like right now.
I'm good.
I ate Popeyes so long.
Hey, that sandwich had a good run though. I'll tell you that, man.
I would agree to beat that sandwich, dog.
The best one was, but the best sandwich, their best chicken sandwich was in the 90s, though. But that's the thing. People weren't buying a chicken sandwich.
They weren't buying sandwiches like that thing.
Exactly. That was the real
chicken
champ.
Sandwiches is the real, is the everyday.
That's the underrated champ right there. That chicken sandwich in the 90s, and it was spicy. The first spicy, oh no, it was unmatched.
Yeah, there's a
nobody was eating chicken sandwich. They want everybody was buying 10-piece, 20 pieces.
Right.
You weren't buying a chicken sandwich at a chicken plate. You wanted chicken pieces.
You wanted chicken.
Yeah.
You wanted chicken with biscuits and mashed potatoes and green beans.
You're right. Exactly.
Now, that watered down mac and cheese.
That chicken sandwich they dropped in the 90s.
I never had Popeyes in 98.
Sleeper. What's that?
What if I told y'all the first time I've ever eaten Popeyes was 1998 and I got food poisoning?
Yeah, you never going back there.
Yeah, no. They put a Popeyes in our neighborhood. I'll never forget it. They put a Popeyes in the neighborhood. It was like 90, 92, 93. They ran out of chicken. They had to go next door. Dude, literally.
They went next door to where?
Dude was in an apron with flour on his shit and walked to Easy Shop. I'll never forget it. He walked out the back door to Easy Shop and came back with a pack of chicken and had to fry the chicken because they ran out of chicken. I'll never forget it. Bonneville and Simpson Stewart, right to this day.
I bet we could all give at least 5 stories of a place we went to, and they ran out of something like that. That should never happen. You got a restaurant.
You just opened, like come on, man. You
like
put
we used to play that game.
I need a pass when you just open because you're not thinking it's gonna take off that fast.
But here's the crazy thing, though. That Popeyes was an old Church's chicken, so you know damn well the Negroes gonna eat some chicken. It went from Church's to Popeyes.
Hey, Church's back when I was in Atlanta, man. You get like 5 pieces for like $5, man. Yeah, Church's was when you were struggling college student. Church's was coming through, man. And that Wendy's dollar.
That white box with that green logo and green and brown logo. I don't want it.
Yeah,
I don't want it.
Yeah, because it's Texas Churches now.
Yeah. They changed. Yeah, it's supposedly. Yeah, I saw that they changed the name. It's Texas Churches.
Yeah, it's not a lot though here. I mean, it's rare that you see one.
Illinois. Hey, Cook County Churches is what's up. Hey, you get you some Churches chicken. It's Churches chicken. But get this, how ironic. It's a Church's chicken across the street from Malcolm X College.
Come on, man.
I'm just talking about that.
Come on, man.
Chicken across the street from Malcolm X.
Man, come on, man.
The only churches I'm aware of is the one that's on Harry Hines. And Harry Hines is a place where you can get chicken.
There's a church on Forest. The churches on the Harry Hines. They got the churches. Matter of fact, they got a drive-through churches still in Oak Cliff somewhere in the gas station.
Yeah.
But growing up, people weren't bringing Churches and Popeyes if you lost a loved one. They were bringing that white box, and you knew what that white box was here in Texas. They were gonna give you that Williams chicken.
Williams chicken, yeah.
They gonna give you that Williams chicken. If that white box showed up, you already knew what time it was.
It was like sorry for your loss. Here's a big.
Williams chicken couldn't even put their name on the box they had just started. They just white box Williams chicken.
You knew what it was.
Sorry for your loss, Williams chicken, bro. When my grandfather died in '94, I'd never seen so many white boxes in my life.
And is that lined up on that table with that red tablecloth?
And then each one of them was like a 10-piece. Who eating all this, man? We too busy grieving. Who eating all this chicken, man?
We too busy crying.
Yeah, man. What we doing, man? All this chicken, what we doing right now? Who bringing all this chicken?
That's for the next couple of days. It's not for right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. Because who's eating all this? If I see another person walk up this sidewalk with a white box, I already know what it is.
It's going to be some furniture moving around us.
I already know what it was.
It reminds me of my aunt, man. She said, no, I don't want no repass when I die. These niggas here to cry, not to eat.
Y'all better be crying.
Exactly.
Not fixing a plate.
Salty tears on that chicken. I don't want Yes, exactly. They ain't here to eat. Yeah, exactly. We ain't got time for that.
This ain't no potluck. This my repast. Come on, y'all.
I'm doing having a fellowship at my pastor.
Hey, that's food, man. We eat,
Man.
man. Happy, sad, angry.
Hey, they figure you need that nourishment for your body singing. Jesus'
strip
name.
club. We eat everywhere, man.
We eat, man. Yeah, we eat.
Food is vital.
But I tell you what, though, the wings and rolls, we man.
That's why I've learned to bring cold cuts.
Let me get a turkey on white. Let me get a turkey on white, please. Swiss cheese, please. Let me get a turkey to go.
Yeah, man.
She said cold cuts. Can I get a fried bologna sandwich, please?
Yeah, hey, you know you old school when you say cold cuts, man.
Cold cuts.
Yeah.
Cold cuts.
I'll get it.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, man, this episode, I like how they brought it all together. You know, at the end they give kind of this is what Chicken Man became, this is what Detective Hudson became, showing Frank doing business deals, and yeah, you know, that was perfect. That was a perfect ending to a great series.
Indeed. I Steve Kerr and concur.
Yeah.
Now, do you think there was anything missing? Anything missing that you would want to see?
No, I mean, I think this was done very well. And like I said, the fact that they had a red carpet for this, they had a premiere. I've never seen a streaming series get a premiere red carpet. Like that was new to me. So unless Peacock put that together, or unless the production put it together, or hell, maybe Samuel Jackson and Taraji P, and maybe they all came together. It's like, hey, you know what? We need to make this a night of premieres. This needs to be the first. Maybe they all came together with the idea and presented it. I don't know, but
hey, it was one hell of an idea, man. This had a lot of pre-pub on this series. This was like months ago. I think I seen a preview, or I don't know. Me and you,
that's why I said this was, for me, it was like Harlem Nights. I don't think there's been anything. I mean, yeah, maybe Soul Food, I guess. And then I think they had like this movie called This Christmas or something like that. But who remembers things like, I mean, I feel like this, to me, in a sense, especially with these, these accolades of actors that have been around and have won Oscars or got Golden Globes or just been mentioned. I don't know. To me, it was like another Harlem Nights. That's why I felt,
Yeah, I mean, it had like I was saying, it had the heist aspect of it. It had any heist movie, you have the heist, and then you got the detectives on the other side trying to solve it, and it basically gave you that.
I think it's going to be a season 2 because they even entitled it season 1.
Right.
I know. Yeah, you're right. So I appreciate you for tuning in.
All right, Pussycat, we're just going to say it. We see you. Gonna get it out there.
We see you. We see you.
We see
now,
you.
they had a picture at the end, which appeared that was Chicken Man and Detective Hudson. So and they didn't really give a lot of explanation, but the picture kind of spoke and said, okay, these are the people that were involved. Maybe those are those people.
Yeah, it looked like they maybe became good friends or something like that. Maybe they work together in the community still.
Yeah, I mean, he was a minister, so it looked like the detective went to the church. I mean, so
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I said, man. I think this could potentially be like Fargo.
Yeah, or like a True Detective where they got different kind of stories going on. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, you don't know what went home. Yeah, we only had what was in front of us. We don't know the side stories and things that are going on behind other scenes. And like you said, we saw the Black Mafia. We saw those guys. They different. They could pick up with some of those guys and implement them. I mean, it could be endless.
Yeah. But
it's good. It's the goodest. Hey, I do want to plug real quick. This is because H-Rap told me I need to watch this. I started watching Bel Air.
Okay.
I'm on episode 8 of season 1.
Okay. What's your early review?
Hitman out here because Jeffrey doing some wet works out here, man.
Hey, boy, I told you.
Jeffrey making people disappear out here, baby.
Oh, Jeffrey doing it like that?
Man, Jeffrey making people disappear out here. Jeffrey making people disappear out here, man. Hey, I mean, I already got a sense of like, man, I because when it came out, I was like, oh, I want to watch this, but I got so far behind, and it was just like, damn, I gotta pay for it, but I guess I will. But nah, man. And shout out to the lady that they have playing Aunt Viv. How you got her kind of looking like Aunt Viv and Michelle Obama at the same time? Hey, what? How y'all work that out?
Luke Cage. She was on Luke Cage.
Oh, she on Luke Cage? See, I don't remember from Luke Cage. I must didn't recognize on
Remember
Luke Cage.
at the beginning, that's the first lady that asked him out for some coffee.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Because he was kind of like looking at it like,
I like the chocolate days.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm glad I started. It's like now I need to own this series on a physical copy, and then I need to own Snowfall on a physical copy, and then I need Atlanta on a physical copy.
Hey, Wilkes, watch this. Go ahead, sir. You confess.
Oh yeah. I started Lovecraft Country, people. I finally watched it. I was about to be late to work today because started watching it this morning.
Man. Too good.
Yeah, man. It is. I wish we would have when this came out. I wish we would have reviewed it. But
it's too Lovecraft Country. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We're going ahead and finish. When did you get hooked?
First 30 minutes. I only watched the first 30 minutes of episode 1.
That's all you need. It
didn't take long.
Yeah, it didn't take long. That's what. Hey, Bel Air did it. Honestly, I was already hooked on Bel Air when it started because I was just like, okay, I like how the drama's going. I like how it's just got that kind of just that vibe, that directorial. Like it's not goofy. It ain't all over. Like it's okay. They coming with it.
Yeah, I immediately felt like I immediately thought it was gonna be goofy. That's why I haven't even watched it yet. But
and they got
once they said Carlton was snorting, I was snorting lines. I was like, oh, this is not goofy.
Remember, there's an episode in where he does a snort.
Yeah, and he was all hyperactive and
he was hyperactive. He passed out. Yeah. Oh, Fresh Prince. Yeah. I get it.
He crashed out on that episode.
Yeah.
And
I like that Jazz owns a record store. I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
I like that he really Tupac. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, kind of Tupac. Yeah, kind of thing. Yeah, right on. Oh, and I also noticed some things too on Bel Air when I'm watching it. There's some subtle hints like in the kitchen. The way they have the island is positioned like it is in Fresh Prince of Bel Air. And on top of that, if you go back to the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, they have Sub-Zero Wolf inspired refrigeration.
Yeah.
If you check this one out, they have a Sub-Zero.
I was about to ask you that.
They have a and they've got like a Wolf double oven. So it's kind of crazy how they did it. But I mean, I mean, there were even angles like when they're coming down the staircase, you always wondered about the spiral in the TV show. Well, they had a camera angle that reminded me of the TV show. They were going back downstairs, so it was pretty crazy.
What was Uncle Phil like?
He wasn't like Uncle Phil on the TV show.
No, he definitely ain't like Uncle Phil on the TV show. He is definitely career driven, but he's definitely one of those like, his wife is gangster to a point, but it's just like
what, Wilkes? He is like the Uncle Phil on the TV show.
Well, I was gonna say, I think he's the sternness of that Uncle Phil. Yes, absolutely.
Think about it, Wilkes. They didn't change Uncle Phil at all.
I don't think they. Yeah, that's why I said I don't think they did too much there. I mean, he was Uncle Phil have a drink every now and then. Uncle Phil make some jokes every now and then.
Yeah.
Uncle Phil cut your ass out every now and then.
Uncle Phil, they didn't change Uncle Phil.
Yeah. Yo, because trust me, he was trying to hey, you gonna try to snatch a hole in Will ass. So it's pretty much
Yeah, plenty of times.
you know, yeah.
Did he throw Jazz out?
They ain't thrown Jazz out yet. We gonna say I'm only on season 1. A-Trap can attest. I don't know, but
that dynamic is not there because
Okay.
if when you watch it, you'll see how Will and Jazz hooked up. Jazz was an Uber driver.
But instead of the taxi driver, yeah, he's the Uber driver, yes. But here's what I also like. I like the aspect of them revisiting Jazz liking Hillary, because that's, in the show, she didn't really show him the time of day, but in here she's kind of like, okay.
But in here, he GTD.
Yeah.
He GTD.
Yeah. Oh, and I like that they introduced
Martin, for those who don't know what GTD.
Right.
Yeah.
Watch Martin.
I like that they introduced Lisa Wilkes' character early. I love that they introduced Lisa Wilkes' character
and the dynamic that Lisa plays.
Yes. Yeah. I like that.
It's one of them.
Hey, y'all got me wanting to turn that on tonight.
Yeah.
It's on Peacock, right?
You finished LCC, buddy.
Yeah, man.
One thing at a time, huh?
One thing at a time, my brother.
Well, need you all over.
Yeah. I got to stay focused. Yeah. All right, man. So let's get to final thoughts. Mike, rating. Man, this again, great series. This lived up to it. When you get this many great actors, you wonder, is it going to deliver? Is it going to fall off? What's the storyline? What's the plot going to be like? And they delivered on all fronts. So I'm gonna start it off. It's a 5. It's an easy 5 for me.
Yeah.
A-Trap.
I concur.
Yeah, easy 5 for me. And just to go back what Ben had said, I don't think they were worried about them not delivering, because you got some A-list actors. I mean, Taraji P and of course Terrence Howard, they've done stuff together. You've got Don Cheadle. He done been on a well-known show that was on HBO, had a Showtime, had a good run. I think it even got some Golden Globes.
You on the Golden Girls?
Yes, he was. He was.
Yeah,
he did. He addressed the Confederate flag that was in the lobby of the hotel. Yeah. So I mean, they're no slouches. I think they all knew what they had to do. I think you do what you do. I think they knew what they had to. I think they knew the assignment that was in front of them. And I know I've repeated this 1,000 times. This is my new Harlem Nights. It's just, I mean, the stars and comedians in that one, and actors, and now Eddie Murphy drawing them together. Oh my gosh, this was done
they
well.
delivered.
Yeah. This was done well. Definitely a 5.
They didn't let us down at all. Shout out to the directors, the actors, everybody involved.
And I just want to say, honestly, when I see stuff like this, it's like, man, I want to see this more often. It leaves you like, man, who else can you put together? Who else can you? I mean, even if there's some young and up and coming actors that were in this one, which I know there were, because there were some people I didn't recognize, but and they had been in other things, and playwrights. Some people had been in Broadway plays. So that was pretty nice. But yeah, this was like, man, it's just like, man, I love this. Like, please don't stop this. This is, I love it. I love to see it.
And the creator of this was Shay Ogbonna, which I haven't heard of him before. He's also done some other things. The Penguin, it looks like he's done some.
The one on HBO Max?
Yeah. It looks like he's done some work with that. He's done some
that Penguin. Colin Farrell, oh my gosh. Woo.
Try. I mean, this guy's done some good stuff. So
that Penguin's dope.
That Penguin is dope.
Yeah. That's on my list too. But yeah, man, this was a 5. I think from early on, I never changed. It was consistent.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we did this.
It was a series, and I love that it was a series.
Yeah.
I liked it. Like I said, if it was a movie, I feel like it would just leave you wanting more of it. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that they drug it out to 8 episodes.
Yeah, and they finished it well. Like a lot of black movies, it finishes off in the church, and the criminal becomes the pastor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Amen. Amen.
Yeah, but
Everything
they ended it
are
well.
the same.
Right,
It
exactly.
came.
Yeah, they ended it well. Everybody went off into their own respective careers and success.
Yeah.
And Frank, was doing his thing. So, yeah.
Hey, fun fact: how many people know that man in that movie? What's that dude name? Eddie. Not the dude name. What is his character name? The one who ended up on drugs. Spell his last name.
Is it Kane?
Nope.
Was it
So that
spelled like
would've
that?
It's King. Kang.
Really?
Kang.
It's
Kane?
King. It's really Eddie King.
Oh my
I
God.
thought it was Kang.
Yeah.
K-A-N-E.
Kang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just the way they was being said.
Yeah.
Lord,
His
Kane.
name is Eddie King.
No, never would have knew that. I didn't
Nah,
never
me
even
either.
looked it up.
Me either.
Yeah, Eddie King. Yeah.
All right. So coming up next week, we will be reviewing Raw Peace. This is a recommendation from Wilkes. He passed this along. It is available now on YouTube and on Amazon. We'll show a preview at the end when we close out. It looks like a great film, right up our alley. A lot of things and thoughts and perspectives that we talk about on this show. So we'll show that at the end. What's up? What's coming up tomorrow on the End of the Bench?
Tomorrow episode of In the Bench will be shown at about 7:30, 8 o'clock. I have an issue, but it's called The System versus the People, and how the system is set up to divide and conquer us, and we need to start fighting back. That's why I use George Washington as the system, and Bobby, what's his name? Co-founder of the Black Panther Party Self-Defense, Bobby Seale. And just going to lay out things that are clearly obvious. And I've been severely, the reason I came up with this is I've been severely disappointed in a lot of brothers that's literally talking about how great Donald Trump is. As a matter of fact, before I came in this evening, I was at Walgreens buying something to drink. And this man, I'm giving out money like Trump. I'm like, I want to kill him. So I almost punched him. I was like, so, it's shameful. It's shameful, but, what can you do?
You wanted to literally strangle him and
Talk
cut
about
off his life.
talk about hook, line, and sinker.
Like, I'm like, dude. It's just, okay, let's just say you got the largest stimulus that was available. That would be $1,200.
Appreciate it, Rhonda.
Thanks, Rhonda. $1,200. That's 83 cents a day. He gave you you proud that he gave you 83 cents a day.
And even you can pledge to sponsor.
Man. You must be living in one of those fish hole countries.
Right. Even you can sponsor a child.
This dude thought I was gonna my nephew. I asked my nephew about it when he was cutting my hair, and he called me with one of his buddies. His buddy's like, I got receipts for what I'm talking about. I said, you keep them. I literally told him this. I said, I would rather die and go to hell than to have this conversation with you.
Not doing this. Not doing it.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you trying to convince me to vote for a Klansman?
Yeah. Well, for a clown, a thug,
a clownsman. Yeah.
Yeah. What these terms, gangster, these terms we like to use. That's what.
I mean, just like Bloomberg said, he's like, I know a crook when I see a crook. I'm from New York City.
I know some BS when I see it.
Yeah.
We as a community,
the only guy that would sell a Bible and not know a scripture in the Bible or turn the Bible upside down and say, yeah, I'm selling
literally taking a photo op in front of the church holding a Bible
upside down.
No, he did even worse. He went to the spot in Alton National Cemetery in which he sent people that died. Like they here because of me.
Right. Jeez.
Dude, you're in a cemetery, fam.
Hey, excuse
Don't
me.
care.
How quickly we forget talking about I'll pay your legal fees if you just knock them out. That one guy that punched that black man, I didn't see Trump come to that dude aid one time.
No.
And it ended up they ended up going to trial. Like they literally were in the courtroom. Didn't see that Trump wasn't paying bail, wasn't doing court fees.
Nah, man.
Stop.
He was taking donations.
Y'all fall for that there?
They were putting towards his GoFundMe.
Man.
Who's them exactly?
Right. I mean, most, I would argue, at least a 96% clip, black people are disenchanted with the police. And this is a dude that says the police should have it right to do what they want to do and have total immunity. And that's who you signed yourself with. So in the event that he loses and Vice President Harris is the president, right? The next time somebody get accosted by the police, if I hear them complaining, I'm gonna say, "Hey man, who did you vote for?" And if you say Trump, I'm gonna say, "Hey man, I don't think you need to be talking," because he wanted them to be able to shoot that person and get away with it. Right. I've seen some of those Jordan Kelper people go, "Yeah, he might have gone too far." You know, those are the people that used to be like, "So what did he shot that old lady? I'm still hunting for him."
Hey man, his interviews he does at these rallies, man, it's almost like you can't even believe it.
Right.
You almost think he's trying to lose. He don't want this job.
Right. This is like somebody trying to throw it. Yeah.
He just want that paycheck, man. He just want that paycheck and go see the dictators, man.
He didn't get all his money back, you know. He just only reason he want to be president so he can pardon himself.
Oh yeah. You want that power.
Yeah. Don't look my way. Exactly.
Yeah, don't look over here. I'm not doing anything wrong. Okay.
Right. He is a
Keep
grifter.
looking for it. Keep looking for it.
Grifter.
Look
up grifter.
He let some black people out of jail. Yeah, and he executed 13 of them his last month in the office, and 6 of the 13 were innocent.
He let some black people out of jail, but we still cannot get an apology. We still can't get an apology for the ones he put out an ad
to kill.
Part 5 to kill. So which one? What? Hello? What? Stop. Whatever.
Right.
Whatever, man.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All right, tune in tomorrow at the end of the bench at 7:30. Not at 7:30 tomorrow. 7:30 Central.
One-time episode at
one time only for one night only. And make sure to check that out. And then you're doing the morning shows too. Some morning shows. Talk about those.
Yeah, that's only on Mondays.
Only on Mondays. Okay.
Yeah. Hold my beer.
Do it.
Cool. All right. End of the
bench. Getting off work and doing that is taxing, like Ajax and waxing.
Yeah, you be trying to probably keep yourself awake doing that one.
Yeah, I found myself like this at one point.
Somebody probably sent you a text or something.
No, I was just, hey man.
That's one of the yawns, man, when you can't hold it in. It just
I was like, I had blew 3 through my nose, and then that fourth one was like 20th Century Fox.
I gotta let this one out, man. All right, there'll probably be a replay on Queen 3 and King tomorrow. Doc should be back next week. Again, next week, we're reviewing Rob Peace. Let's go ahead and get into that preview. And again, it's available on YouTube and Amazon. We'll see you guys next week.
All righty.
Peace.
So that's 22.5 times 2. 45 plus 11.25 is 56.25.
Damn. Can't be 7 years old smarter than your old man. All right. We can walk to my place from here. Oh.
That was the last day I remember being a child.
I did not commit this crime.
The jury finds the defendant, Robert E. Douglas, guilty.
I'll take care of everything. I promise. You're going to college. The best thing you could do for your daddy is to keep being brilliant.
You got into jail!
I'm not here to educate. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to figure out the best way to help my community when the time comes.
It's time for you to fly. So they see, they can.
Show me some redemption.
How much can you put together for a lawyer? I mean, a good one.
There's no.
God help me, I love that man, but he will watch you burn to the ground trying to get him out.
Show me some redemption.
You're pulled between this place and home. It's hard to know what's more important. You don't have to live like this.
But you know what I'm doing this for.
For once in your life, find your dream.
Devil on my back, snakes in the grass, coming from the past, trying to take my last piece of sanity.
I'm not proud of all the choices I made. Was I prepared to risk everything? I'm Robert Deshaun. Peace.